Have you ever noticed how some people seem to command respect without raising their voice? They walk into a room, and suddenly the energy shifts. They don't beg for attention, they don't over-explain, they simply withdraw. And somehow that quiet withdrawal speaks louder than any argument could. Now imagine if you did the same. If you stopped reacting to everything immediately. What if instead of jumping to respond, you chose silence? What if instead of trying to fix every misunderstanding, you simply stepped back? That's where the transformation begins. When you stop being constantly available, emotionally, mentally, even physically, the world around you is forced to readjust. People who are used to controlling you through your reactions begin to panic. Because your silence, your distance, your restraint, they break the pattern. Carl Jung once said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to a better understanding of ourselves." Think about that. When you become less available, who gets desperate? Who starts trying to provoke you, to pull you back into the same emotional loop? That reaction reveals not your weakness, but theirs. We often confuse being kind with being endlessly accessible. We think we're maintaining peace, but really we're maintaining control, not of ourselves, but of other people's comfort. Every time you say yes when you mean no, every time you over-explain yourself, you give away a piece of your energy. And at the end of the day, you feel drained, frustrated, or even empty without knowing why. Because being too available is not compassion, it's self-abandonment. It's giving your energy to people who were never meant to hold it. This doesn't mean turning your back on the world. It means choosing yourself. It's what Jung called individuation, the process of becoming whole. It's the moment you stop living as a reaction to others and start acting from awareness. Silence, when chosen consciously, is not weakness, it's power. It's the moment you realize that not every fight deserves your voice, not every opinion deserves your response, and not every person deserves your immediate presence. When you stop reacting, something magical happens. Those who thought they knew, you realize they never did. They lose access to the version of you they could control. You stop being predictable, and the moment you do, the game changes. So ask yourself, how much of your life has been shaped by your automatic reactions? How many times have you said yes just to avoid conflict, to please, or to hold on to people who would leave anyway? The truth is, you were taught from childhood that being available makes you valuable. But that's a lie. Constant availability is not love, it's dependency. It's a prison disguised as virtue. When people know they can always reach you, they stop valuing your time. They start using you as an emotional backup, a safety net for their discomfort. They call only when they need validation, comfort, distraction. And when they've had their fill, they move on. You see, everything that's too accessible loses its mystery, and everything that's predictable loses its power. People don't respect what's abundant, they respect what's earned. So ask yourself, who really deserves your attention? Who has earned your energy, your presence, your listening? Or maybe the better question is, who deserves your absence? And before you answer that, you must understand something deeper. Why you react in the first place. Why do we jump to respond, to justify, to fix? Why do we keep playing the same emotional games even when they exhaust us? Carl Jung believed the answer lies in psychic energy, the inner fuel that powers our thoughts, emotions, and actions. Every reaction, every overthinking moment, every argument consumes this energy. And if you're not conscious of where it's going, someone else will use it for you. The more you react, the more you deplete yourself. Think about it. How many nights have you lost sleep replaying a conversation in your head? How many times have you defended yourself to people who never really listened? That's not strength. That's energy leakage. And energy leakage keeps you weak, manipulable, and emotionally exhausted. Those who drain you, they're not always villains. Sometimes, They're just people who learn to survive by feeding off the energy of others. They sense your openness, your empathy, your need to fix, and they use it unconsciously. But when you withdraw that energy, when you stop reacting, you reclaim your power. You shift from being reactive to being responsive, deliberate, calm, centered. Because true power doesn't lie in control. It lies in choosing where your energy goes. Every time you pause before reacting, you build strength. Every time you stay silent when provoked, you cultivate presence. Every time you refuse to engage in chaos, you protect your peace. Jung said, "That which you resist persists. The more you fight, the more you feed what drains you. But when you step back, when you choose not to fight, you dissolve the power the situation holds over you. You don't become cold, you become sovereign. You stop being an actor in other people's dramas and start becoming the director of your own story." So the next time you feel the urge to react, pause. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Is this worth my peace? Because every reaction is an investment, and not everyone deserves your currency. In a world addicted to noise, your silence is your superpower, protecting your energy, breaking free from emotional manipulation. Your energy is everything. It's the invisible currency that defines the quality of your relationships, your peace, and even your destiny. Carl Jung didn't see the human mind as a passive machine that simply reacts. He saw it as an energy system, a dynamic flow of psychic power that can either nourish or destroy you depending on where you direct it. So let's be honest. How often do you waste that energy on things that don't deserve it? Every argument you replay in your head, every text you overanalyze, every attempt to prove your worth to someone who doesn't see it. Each one of those moments is like leaving your mental lights on, energy leaking, draining you slowly. You can't live a powerful life if your mind is constantly running in the background, processing noise that doesn't matter. Jung said, "That which you resist persists." And what does resistance mean? It means fighting against what should simply be released. The truth is, people who live exhausted lives aren't weak. They're simply misdirected. Their energy is scattered across other people's problems, reactions, and expectations. They've given so much that they have nothing left for themselves. And here's the dangerous part. Exhaustion makes you vulnerable. When you're drained, you stop seeing clearly. You begin to tolerate things you'd normally walk away from. You start believing that peace comes from fixing others, when in reality, it comes from protecting yourself. Manipulative or emotionally needy people can feel this. They sense when your boundaries are weak, when you can be triggered, and all they need to do is press the right emotional button, guilt, pity, obligation, and you react automatically. But this is not a conscious exchange. It's energetic theft. Jung believed that a healthy psyche knows how to conserve energy within itself. That means learning the art of silence, the art of saying no without guilt, the art of stepping away before chaos consumes you. True strength isn't loud. It doesn't prove itself. It observes, chooses, and acts with precision. So, ask yourself, how many times have you been dragged into conflicts that weren't even yours? How many times have you argued just to feel understood by someone who had already decided not to understand you? Those are the moments when you lose psychic energy, when your peace is traded for the illusion of control. Because here's a secret. The moment you react, you give away power. The moment you defend yourself to someone who thrives on misunderstanding you, you've already lost. Jung often spoke about how energy, when properly contained, creates presence. You've met those people. They don't say much, but when they enter a room, everyone feels it. Their silence carries weight. Their calm demands respect. That's what happens when your energy is well guarded. But when your energy leaks, when you give too much, explain too much, react too much, you become invisible. You fade into the background because your presence has been spent on survival, not creation. So, how do you fix this? How do you stop the leaks? It begins with observation. Start noticing your triggers. Who makes you feel the need to defend yourself? What situations make you lose your center? These are your emotional exits, the doors through which your energy escapes. Once you see the pattern, you can change it. This isn't about becoming cold or distant. It's about becoming selective. Selective with your emotions, your responses, your energy. Because not everyone deserves access to your inner world. And here's where Jung's concept of projection enters. Projection is when people place onto you the parts of themselves they can't face. It's when someone accuses you of being selfish just because you've set a boundary. It's when they call you distant because they fear abandonment. They're not describing you, they're describing their own reflection. And the more emotionally available you are, the more space you give for these projections to land. Think about it. That friend who only shows up when they need emotional support. That partner who calls you their rock but never asks how you're doing. That colleague who compliments you only when you help them shine. These people aren't connecting with you. They're connecting with the idea of you, the role you play for them. And you play it willingly because deep down you're afraid of being rejected, misunderstood, or abandoned. But here's the truth. The most effective manipulation doesn't happen through force. It happens through guilt. When someone makes you feel that you owe them your presence, your time, your understanding, that's control disguised as connection. And as long as you keep reacting to that guilt, you remain stuck in their emotional orbit. But here's the turning point. The game breaks the moment you stop reacting. When you start saying no without explanation. When you choose silence instead of justification. When you walk away without guilt. That's when the mask falls. Suddenly, they no longer know who you are. They can't predict you, they can't use you, they can't mold you. And that's terrifying, not for you, but for them, because your withdrawal forces others to confront themselves. It takes away their emotional mirror, the one they use to avoid seeing their own chaos. And that's why silence feels so uncomfortable for manipulative people. It reveals their own noise. Jung said, "We do not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. When you stop reacting, you expose the darkness, not just theirs, but your own patterns too. You begin to see how often you've traded peace for validation. But here's the question. Are you ready for that kind of transformation? Because when you stop reacting, you'll be misunderstood. When you stop explaining, you'll be called cold. When you stop rescuing others, you'll be called selfish. That's the price of authenticity, the loneliness before the breakthrough. But it's in that silence, in that space of isolation, where your new power is born. Because silence isn't absence, it's the beginning of sovereignty. The next time someone tries to provoke you, remember this. Your reaction is their reward. Your silence is your shield. The power of silence, mastering the art of emotional sovereignty. The modern world is loud. Everyone's talking, posting, reacting, desperate to be seen, to be heard, to prove they exist. But in this sea of noise, there's one power that stands out, the power of silence. Not silence as in weakness, but silence as in awareness. The kind of silence that commands respect without saying a word. The kind of silence that dismantles manipulation and reveals truth. Carl Jung saw silence not as emptiness, but as a sacred space, the soil in which awareness grows. When you stop reacting, you start seeing. You start noticing the subtle dynamics you once ignored. The manipulation behind someone's innocent question. The guilt wrapped inside a favor. The neediness disguised as care. Silence is not passive. It's an active observation. It's emotional clarity. It's the moment when you see the game and decide not to play. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how some people panic when you don't respond right away? When you don't explain yourself, justify, or chase? That discomfort they feel, It's not because they miss you. It's because your silence takes away their control. As long as you respond, they can predict you. But the moment you stop, they lose their script. You've changed the rules of engagement. Silence strips away illusion. While others speak to dominate, your stillness becomes magnetic. Because silence is not absence, it's presence, intensified. And that's why silence feels threatening to those who thrive on emotional chaos. It exposes what they've been hiding from you and from themselves. Jung's process of individuation, becoming who you truly are, depends on this. Because only in silence can you hear your own voice again. Only in solitude can you discover what's yours versus what's been projected onto you. But let's be real, silence has a price. It will separate you from people who only valued your availability. They'll call you distant, arrogant, cold. They'll say you've changed. But here's the truth. You're not becoming cold. You're becoming clear. You're not cutting people off. You're cutting off access to your energy. Every time you say less, you reclaim more. Because words are energy. Attention is energy. And not everyone deserves access to your truth. There's a reason wise people speak less. They've learned that every sentence is an investment. Every argument is an invitation. And some invitations simply don't deserve a reply. Silence forces others to face themselves. It reveals their insecurity, their guilt, their internal noise. And that discomfort? It's the sound of truth echoing back at them. You don't need to defend your absence. You don't need to explain your boundaries. Your silence is the explanation. And those who feel threatened by it, they never wanted your truth, only your compliance. But let's take this deeper. The most powerful silence is not the kind that punishes others, it's the kind that heals you. Because real silence isn't about cutting people off, it's about cutting off the inner chaos that made you available to everyone in the first place. It's about creating space for clarity, for peace, for creation. When you stop reacting to noise, you begin to hear the whispers of your intuition. The quiet voice says, "This doesn't feel right." The subtle feeling that guides you toward what truly matters. That's where real transformation begins, not in shouting your truth, but in embodying it quietly. When you master silence, you stop being controlled by the emotional weather around you. You stop being dragged into arguments that lead nowhere. You stop over-explaining, over-apologizing, over-giving. You become steady, calm, in a world addicted to chaos. And here's something profound Jung hinted at. Silence and solitude are not punishments. They are portals. They lead you back to the essence of who you are before the world told you who to be. You see, when you stop feeding the noise, you start hearing your soul. And that's terrifying, because in that silence, there's nowhere to hide. The masks fall away. The false selves dissolve. You meet the version of yourself you abandoned long ago to be accepted. That's the sacred discomfort of growth, the quiet before rebirth. Silence transforms into something greater, presence. Presence is when your energy enters a room before your words do. It's when you can say no with a glance or inspire respect with calmness. Presence is magnetic. It doesn't beg. It doesn't chase. It simply is. And here's the paradox. When you stop explaining yourself, the right people start understanding you naturally because your energy becomes coherent, aligned. Your peace starts speaking louder than your words ever could. But to reach that point, you must face a truth most people run from. Not everyone deserves to hear your story. Not everyone is meant to understand you. And that's okay, because silence is not loneliness. It's sovereignty. It's the language of those who have nothing to prove anymore. Jung once said that individuation requires a kind of sacred separation. You have to step away from the crowd to find your center. You have to detach from constant noise to rebuild your internal compass. That's why silence feels painful at first, because you're detoxing from validation. You're breaking the addiction to being seen, liked, and understood. But stay with it. Because after the silence comes something far greater: clarity. When you stop explaining, you begin to understand. When you stop chasing, you start attracting. When you stop reacting, you start creating. And that's when you realize that the world doesn't need your constant availability. It needs your authenticity. So if you're in that season of silence, don't rush it. Let it teach you. Let it strip away what's false, what's draining, what's performative. Because silence, when chosen consciously, doesn't isolate you, it elevates you. It's not the absence of sound, it's the presence of self. And once you master that, no one can manipulate you again. The rebirth, choosing yourself and reclaiming your inner freedom. So what happens after the silence, after the withdrawal, after the world has labeled you distant, strange, or selfish for protecting your peace? Something beautiful, something few people ever experience: rebirth. At first, it feels like loss. The silence is heavy, uncomfortable. You start to question yourself. Did I do the right thing? Am I being too harsh? What if I lose everyone? But then, slowly, the silence changes. It softens. It starts to cleanse you. What once felt like emptiness begins to feel like space. Space to breathe, space to think, space to be. And in that space, solitude arrives. Not the loneliness of being without others, but the fullness of finally being with yourself. It's a powerful shift. You realize that peace isn't found in fixing others. It's found in not betraying yourself to keep them comfortable. You begin to feel something new: wholeness. The kind that doesn't need approval, applause, or validation. Carl Jung said, the process of individuation, becoming who you truly are, requires a period of separation from the collective. You must step away from the noise of should, must, and what will they think, and return to the stillness of your own truth. That's what this journey really is. When you stop being constantly available, you're not abandoning people, you're returning to yourself. You stop reacting to circumstances and start creating your reality from the inside out. You stop letting others shape your identity, and you begin to shape your world consciously. And yes, you will lose people. Some will fade quietly, others will leave loudly. But that's okay, because most of them weren't connected to you. They were connected to the version of you that served them, the version that never said no. When that version dies, their comfort dies with it. And that's not your problem anymore, because on the other side of that loss is something priceless: freedom. Freedom from manipulation, freedom from guilt, freedom from the exhausting need to prove your worth. And when you finally reclaim that freedom, you begin to notice something. You attract differently. The people who come into your life now don't demand. They respect. They don't take your silence as rejection. They take it as depth. They meet you where you are, not where they can control you. That's when you realize the people who couldn't handle your absence were never meant to handle your presence. You no longer chase because peace has become your priority. You no longer explain because you know your intentions. You no longer fear being misunderstood because understanding yourself is enough. You see, when you stop being available to everyone, you finally become available to yourself. And that's when life changes. You start waking up without the weight of other people's expectations. You start making decisions from peace, not pressure. You start doing things because they feel right, not because they make others comfortable. That's what emotional maturity looks like. The ability to be misunderstood and remain calm. The courage to say no without apology. The wisdom to choose silence over chaos. It's not easy. The first steps are painful. You'll doubt yourself, you'll feel guilty, and you'll crave the old familiarity of pleasing others. But hold steady. That's just the discomfort of growth. Remember, every transformation begins with disconnection. You can't step into your higher self while staying loyal to the habits that drain you. So when it feels lonely, remind yourself, you're not losing people. You're losing versions of yourself that no longer belong. And with each piece of yourself that returns, your energy grows stronger, clearer, more grounded. That's the solitude of the strong, the kind that doesn't isolate, but elevates. The kind that allows you to sit alone in peace without needing the noise of validation to feel alive. You become whole, and that wholeness changes everything. Your silence becomes power. Your absence becomes a presence. Your no becomes sacred. Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." And that's what this journey has been about. Not rejection, but reclamation. Not isolation, but integration. You are no longer a puppet reacting to every emotional trigger. You are the creator of your own emotional world. You no longer hand out your energy freely, you invest it consciously. And those who stay now, they stay because they see your worth, not your usefulness. So when people say you've changed, smile. They're right. You've stopped living on other people's terms. And yes, it will cost you your comfort, your attachments, your illusions. But what you gain in return is priceless. Clarity, peace, and the power to stand in your truth unapologetically. So I'll ask you now, are you ready to be misunderstood in exchange for peace? Are you ready to be alone for a while, to finally meet yourself? Because this is where freedom begins. When you stop explaining, stop proving, stop chasing, and start being. And if you've made it this far, it means something inside you is already shifting. You've already begun to choose yourself. So say it. Not for me, but for you. I choose my peace. Because in the end, that's the only choice that truly changes everything. Now, if this message resonated with you, if it reminded you of your worth, don't keep it to yourself. Someone else out there needs this reminder too. So like this video if it spoke to you, share it with someone who needs strength today, and let me know in the comments. Have you ever felt the power of silence? What changed when you finally started choosing yourself? Your stories matter. They inspire others who are walking the same path. And if you're ready to keep growing, keep awakening, keep reclaiming your power, make sure you subscribe, because this is just the beginning. Every day, we explore the deeper layers of the self, how to protect your energy, understand your patterns, and live from your center. Remember, it's not about escaping the world. It's about mastering your inner one. So until next time, choose your peace, protect your energy, and never apologize for evolving.